Ticats play their first preseason game on Wednesday in Ottawa. I'm here with the Spec Steve Milton. Steve, it looks like Jeremiah Mazzoli is going to get the start. A lot of backups and guys looking to earn places on this team.
Looks to me like 4 guys are going to get some quarterbacking time, none of whom is wearing number 4. So, and I think that makes sense, don't you?
Yes.
I think, Collaros is obviously the starter here. You want to establish that Mazzoli is number 2, and then Golson looks to me like he's going to be a pretty clear third on this team. Don't you think that?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got a great arm.
I think Golson is sort of, because he was here last year, I think he has an advantage to some of the new guys that were here, and I think but he's a guy that I'd be very curious to see how he performs on Wednesday. There are some guys, on this team that we have some expectations for, but we haven't really seen in action. He'd be near the top of that list.
Yeah, and I think one of the things he might want to establish himself, Drew, is as the short yardage guy, because Mazzoli's now become important enough to this team. I'm not sure you want to use him there as the short yardage guy, and it's been a history on this team at times before. Under Kent Austin, they used the number 3 guy as a short yardage, but you got to make sure he can do it. He's agile. He can get outside if they have to. So yeah, I think he really needs to establish himself, as all third quarterbacks do in their second and third year, because they'll move to somebody else as the development guy if they don't see something from him.
The kickers would be another area I think is important to watch in this game. Sergio Castillo, Andrew Hawkins, the 2 guys left in camp. I think Austin has said right from the beginning that the kicking in the game would be a big factor in determining which of these guys earns this job, or whether or not the Ticats need to continue to look outside for another candidate. My
guess is, and I want your opinion on this, that there are times that we're going to see some situations on Thursday, which if it were the regular season, they might go for it.
Right.
3rd and say 2.
Right.
Or something like that. My guess is they'll kick in those situations because of the very thing you're saying there. It is so important in this game. It may be more than 1/3. Special teams may be more than 1/3 of the value in a Canadian Football League team. And I think in Hamilton, it's really important to get that kicking game under control. They've got to get home field advantage back, and they're not going to do it without a kicker that they know exactly what he can do and what they can count on because of the wind at that field.
Yeah, and so I think it's a big game for those 2 guys, absolutely, for sure. We've talked about Golson, and then after that, I think you're looking at Canadian guys who sort of need to establish themselves as quality backups, and then obviously a raft of American guys who are just trying to earn a spot on this roster,
especially in the secondary. And I'm wondering if guys can actually play them. This is a play off the team game for a lot of those guys in the secondary. They got to get that down to a workable number where they can really look closely at those guys in the secondary. There's a lot of options, and as you've pointed out so well in your print articles, the versatility, how they're going to use Canadians, a lot of it comes out of that secondary. So they got to make sure they have the right guys there. They got to get that down to a workable number that they can work in practice.
The game is on TSN Thursday night, so you'll be able to watch it. I'll be there. And make sure you check out the Spec for a full game preview and 3 Down Nation for all coverage of that game and every other one.
Here, season on.